Hey folks, so I said in my last video I would go over this pocket tool a little bit more, and so yeah, figured I'd do that now. So I ordered this along with a few other picks, such as these top the keyway tensioners from lockpicktools.com. Parent company's hard case, but if you want individual picks, you have to go to lockpicktools.com, like I just said. Now, this is for their 25 thousandths set, which came with appeared to have some rakes that I didn't see available otherwise, if I didn't get it with that specific jackknife. I think. I could have been totally wrong about that. Who knows? Anyway, my point is, I got this. This is the 25 thousandths version. It comes with 6 individual picks. We got 2 rakes, like 2 wave rakes, like I said, half diamonds. I think I'd call this a reach. This is probably the roughest pick, which is interesting. Deep hook, although it's so small, it's more of a medium hook. And a pretty flat low hook. So, you've probably seen these before on YouTube, but I'll show it up a little bit. This gives surprisingly good feedback. I also snagged some other tips for it, which I want to compare and contrast a little bit. Now, one thing I want to try to figure out is how big is this part? So this one's about 20 thousandths. Also about 20 thousandths. I'm saying about because this caliper's kind of terrible. 20 thousandths. $24 or $25,000. That's surprising. One big thing I'm going to point out with this is when you take this off, it can be a little tricky to get back on, and you'll see why when I do that. Don't lose the washer. Put the nut here. The big question I've got is how big are these in comparison? 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, and 25. So this is the only one that's the same width, or about the same width, a little bit smaller. It says 24. 245 10,000ths of an inch is what it's giving me on here. And when you order these, it doesn't really seem to indicate. None of these are Euro versions, with the exception of this grooved pick, or notch, they call it a notch, with a fulcrum, which I really like. This is 20 thousandths. So the downside then is I don't really get to mix and match these all that much now, do I? However, I am going to set this one aside, partially because I really need to sand it down, and we'll try it with this and see how well that fits. Draw the rakes together. Make sure the tips are pointing in the right direction. sure this falls notch properly. Get the washer, now we get to deal with the fun part, and this is why my idea of having some extra ones isn't going to work super practically in a real world. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about the interruption, folks. This is what I meant by it can be fun to put this back on, and also makes it hard to be able to ever feasibly think I can reassemble this if I needed to change out the tips. If I had to get something open. Now, the reason I bought this, and I'll explain why I'm talking about it being a practical tool or not, is for emergency situations. I wanted to be able to have something like this in my bag of other stuff for emergency situations. Seems kind of obvious. Oh, that's cute. Which one did I miss? Oh, no. Okay. The biggest issue I have with this thing is the tensioner, though. This little groove here, I didn't bring a single lock in with me. Oh, no, I got two of them here. Anyway, this groove here makes it so it doesn't fit in really well in most locks, and that can make it quite painful to use. Let's see if we can demonstrate this real quick. We got a narrower of two wave rigs. I'm also wanting to see how well these stay put with a tip in it that isn't the exact same size as the other ones, because when I tried to do some mixing and matching before, things weren't staying in place as well as they should have. Okay, so part of what you'll see is it's slipping out. So you don't actually want to put this in all the way. So it sticks out a little bit. Can we see that? Ends up sticking out, which makes it a little bit trickier to use. Now let's... Of course, real world scenario, I wouldn't be holding the lock. And... So what do I mean by would need this for an emergency? There are a lock or two that I don't have keys to at like my parents' house. For some reason we couldn't access the front door and we had to get in. This would be necessary. This might be necessary to use. And the idea it might be necessary to pick a lock under emergency situations. So, yeah, that was the idea. But then an emergency, on the other hand, I'm not going to want to be fiddling around with that, and I'm not going to want to be changing. Definitely not going to want to have to deal with the issues of changing out the tips. Only for that to then have to be refinagled. Okay, we got this knockoff Quickset or unbranded Quickset. Let's try a very poorly pinned, very poorly pinned master lock. This is pretty much straight. Only might see one of the other weaknesses this has. Oh, well, that worked really well. I also don't see a scenario where I would need to pick a master lock, even in an emergency. But nonetheless, it works a lot better than I was expecting. Do this one more time, see if that was a fluke. Oh, okay, well, yeah. Good for master locks. Again, I don't see a scenario where I would need a master lock. That's picked, even in an emergency, but nonetheless useful. But yeah, I don't know. It's a cute little toy. I'm not sure how useful it really is. There's anything more than that, but you know, for $25, I figured why not try it out. And it does give surprisingly decent feedback, although it was giving the best feedback using the DeForest Diamond, which doesn't really fit very well in here. So what I might end up doing is buying some more of the thinner ones, or contacting the manufacturer about seeing if I can get a thicker DeForest Diamond, although I kind of doubt it. Oh yeah, so, you know, this is another kit that's cute. Whatever. I will have to go over these in another video. This is getting too long anyway. So the 25,000th version of this is cute. It's got some nice little rakes. Not sure I'd recommend it, especially with the Swick lockpick tool, which came out. I think I saw Bosnian Bill's video on reviewing the Swick the day after I ordered this. Maybe I should upload, whatever. So, yeah, keep that in mind. But for $25, it's a cute little toy, although I wouldn't recommend this as a first. I mean, for $25, you can get a whole kit from Southord. So, keep that in mind, too. Anyway, thanks for watching.